Hello, everybody. I'm George Perun. This is
Jake Bandel.
Dennis.
on the podcast today. We're going to be discussing
You can put the
a
microphone
very
down.
important
We're not
topic.
there.
Something,
We're going to be discussing many topics. So let's not highlight one topic too far.
but we're going to be discussing a trashless society.
Yeah, we are. But first, you have to ask your opener.
Oh,
Right.
and this is not Loud and Louder. This is the other podcast.
Make it very clear, George.
Yeah.
But if you do want to watch our original episode, it is called Loud and Louder.
It is. And it's a very good episode.
Yeah. I might say it's well done.
All right. I like that. All right.
But starter question is a question that is very important to me and everybody else, especially if you've been watching my more recent clips. Who would win in a fight? 8 gorillas or a tank?
The Fox.
Yeah.
I think a tank will win.
Why do you think a tank?
Because a tank's made of metal, and I don't think gorillas can break through that. Also, what would the gorillas have to do? Like, how could they destroy a whole tank?
It's a good question.
Yeah, so,
But-
so me,
wait,
and it begs an
Let's-
answer.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
does.
So,
it does. Yeah.
So this is a topic me and Jake actually discussed before because we watched the podcast.
Yep, we knew it was
Yeah.
coming.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we thought
It's a
ahead.
long talk, too.
Yeah,
3 hours.
it probably
Yeah.
was.
It was
And
deep.
so this is what we thought about. We say it's the fox. That sounds silly at first, considering there's no fox in the situation. But when you think back to the olden times, right?
Right.
There was dinosaurs, there was
Tanks.
crocodile. There was everything running around, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about ancient times.
yeah.
One animal that's really stuck out from them? Fox. Fox, because back then they'd have camouflaging abilities to where animals back then they were afraid of them. They could be a bigger animal with more teeth,
Yeah.
and they'd be afraid of them.
And
And it's an interesting concept. So to
Listen.
me, the fox wins in that situation.
Listen. Also, a big thing about the fox is that the fox you see nowadays have been completely distorted by pollution, trash, throwing trash outside. Because if you throw trash, it's easy food for them, and they eat it up. But back then they had to hunt for their food, so they were about 7 times the size. They're about the size of a small moose, and
Do you know how different a raccoon looks now because of all the trash than they used to look?
crazy.
I actually did not know
Raccoon was basically used to be about this big.
that.
Yeah.
Is that
Maybe.
is that verifiable?
Oh, absolutely. I'll stay agree.
Cite your source. What's your source?
Yo,
Right.
Jamie, pull it up.
We don't have Alessi or Jamie.
Wait, what was the guy's name on last week? The guy that looked everything up?
Oh, Alessi.
Alessi.
Yeah, Alessi.
Leslie, look it up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
should have brought someone on the computer.
Yeah.
But
But I'll talk to Alessi. Maybe like.
All right, wait.
yeah.
The real question is, what do you think about this question? I mean, you made it, so.
Well, in my opinion, which is
it's a very good question, by the way. I just think,
yeah.
to me, when there's a question with 2 answers,
You gotta think outside
you gotta
the
pick
box.
the third. And that's what we're doing here. You gotta pick the third.
You gotta
always.
think outside the box.
And you're thinking inside the box, which is fine. And some people like the box, but I don't like the box. I like outside.
Or as a teacher once said, there is no box.
Mhm.
Who? Who's the teacher?
Mhm.
You
Mr. Murtha.
You gonna give him
Ah,
credit?
Yeah, it was Mr.
I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
Professor Fox.
Oh, I see what
Oh.
you did there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Fox.
Yeah,
I love Mr. Fox. Mr.
guy.
Fox was a G.
Yeah, he was a great man.
But he didn't do it much as
I actually
Professor
have a
Fox.
great picture with him. He texted me the other day. He's like, "How you doing in senior year?" I'm like, "You know what, Mr. Fox, you're the man." I actually gave him a card. Like,
How's your ear doing? Is it good or?
I'd say my ear's great.
That's good to hear.
Would you say that?
Not as good without Mr. Fox.
But let's get back to the topic at hand. 8 gorillas or a tank. In my opinion, I'm going to answer inside the box, right? I appreciate your suggestion, but in my humble opinion, I'm going to answer within the confinement, the boundaries of, of what I put forth, right?
No? Some people have boundaries. I guess.
Right. So what I'm going to say is I believe the gorillas would win, right? Obviously, it depends on the tank.
Are you out of your mind?
Yes. so
How?
I came up with the question. But look. In my opinion, I think the 8 gorillas would win simply because it is scientifically proven, right, that we have no idea the true strength of the gorilla, right? So, and this is a fact that if you go on YouTube Shorts enough, you will know. So, it's
Is there a Subway Surfers clip in the bottom of those?
yeah.
All right, will there be a Subway Surfers clip below us?
No, maybe.
No, that'd be that'd be great.
no.
What about a carpet?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to get a really dirty carpet. It's disgusting. It's getting absolutely clean. So
Well, to be fair, that does pull views. So, sometimes.
So you're a view merchant who only cares about views, the money.
What about your
Doesn't care about
fans,
the
George?
fans.
What about your fans?
You know, I appreciate that suggestion, and as a result,
Be real.
I
You know
will.
what? Write in the comments. What do you think about this? Fans?
Yeah,
or
the
views?
loyal fans.
Okay,
Tell
look.
us.
I am changing my editing styles, to which Jake is a witness. I have. See, because look, when you're editing shorts, and you know, you want that to be an advertisement for the actual podcast, right?
Indeed.
And you know what? You made a good point that I don't want to be attracting people with no attention span, little
You're not
kids,
losers. You're making 2-hour masterpieces. They can't keep up.
and I appreciate
Those
that.
are kind of people that are inside the box picking the tank or the gorilla. We want the people that pick the fox. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You should make merch like "Go for the Fox," and
Well,
we'll put that. on the shirt.
You should make the fox like your new thing.
That could be pretty cool. But look, I have no idea where I'm going with this. But, I completely forgot the conversation. So I was going to say that in terms of YouTube Shorts, the reason I was doing it was because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I want to do something for the podcast and I want to like make clips, but it was always getting like 5 views, 2 views, 50 views at a time.
Well, that's how the
And-
grind starts sometimes.
And exactly, and at one point, like one of my videos got 1,000, like one of my videos got 1,000 views. I'm like, oh, that's
Okay.
good. But then,
Yeah, there you go. I saw some.
but then I
I
started.
looked the other day. You had some with 20,000. You're on the come up.
I appreciate that. But look, so I started adding in Subway Surfer, not Subway Surfer.
Yeah,
But I never actually added
Disappointing.
Subway.
Brain rot videos.
Yes, I always added the brain rot distraction videos, and so I thought to myself, I'm like, oh wait, this is working, so I just kept doing it. But then,
But is it
your-
truly working?
Well,
Right, when
it
you're
did,
pulling
it
in
did.
all these trash viewers, right?
Is it really worth it?
Yeah, is it
But-
really
but
working?
look, you
You're
get-
not pulling in quality fans.
well,
You're going to support
yeah.
you, ride or die.
But-
have
yeah.
your back, thick and thin.
To me, it's like clickbait. You know, you're getting views or you're getting subscribers.
It's almost artificial in a way.
Yeah,
and I
One
understand.
could say.
So what I did was I started looking at it from your perspective, and I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? It makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to have a Stanford professor talking with GTA.
Wait,
like,
you're a Stanford professor?
yeah. He has a lot of real guys.
I mean, listen, Stanford, within the Navy SEAls, it honestly just
It's just disrespectful. It honestly is. I want to be honest.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I know you're talking
you
about.
asked him his name and he talked for 30 minutes uninterrupted.
Sniper guy, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
listen, I'll listen.
Uninterrupted 30 minutes. Yeah.
But look, he had a story, and I mean, if that's the way he wanted to tell it, I'm
But
no man
do
to
you
argue.
want the
No,
viewers to
hey,
listen
don't-
to the
don't
story,
get it messed up.
or
Wait, hold on.
One
One
second,
second.
Don't get it messed up. We respect
Yeah.
this guy a lot. We're
Yeah.
just wondering why he was talking to him.
Well, I wish
and
you would have just jumped in a bit and just asked him a follow up, you know?
Well, because with me, it's important to get, like you're saying, quality content. I realize that more now, right?
Yeah, rather
so,
than you know,
than just
notifications. you
than
know?
just trash, right? So
Yeah.
so then I thought more about it, and like I started experimenting. That was part of where the clips like came from, and all of a sudden, I think I really took. It was like somebody I know. It's just like he's a content creator. I'm gonna say that, right? And he started. I'm not gonna say his name, but
we can bleep it out.
We can bleep it out.
I'll tell you later. Just all right.
Leave it out,
No,
leave it out,
don't-
leave it
just
out.
I'll tell you later.
Bleep it out. Bleep it out.
Just-
Bleep it out. Bleep it out.
Okay. So anyways, this guy gave me. He was just telling me, like, look, man, I think you would get a lot more views if you started editing your videos. And I'm like, that's true. But you know, like when you're pulling like what?
Our German teacher just sent us a message.
Yeah, no, because when you're pulling like 50 views at a time, you're willing to try like a lot more, trying to experiment. And then next thing I know, I uploaded 3 videos that were decently well edited, not great, but like brain rot mixed with like legitimate editing. And all of a sudden, I go to school, I don't even check it, and it's 22,000 views already. And like I wake up the next morning and it's 22,000 views, 10,000, like 6,000.
But why aren't you making ad revenue? I'm not getting it.
Because shorts are counted as less than
You need to make the
long
video 10 minutes
actual
long.
videos.
No, it doesn't matter though.
No,
Why
no,
are you
it
not?
does. It does. So
No, but why are you not making it as a
Let him
channel
talk,
in
let him
general?
talk.
Why are you
no,
not making
it
ad
does. It does matter. That's the thing. So most people don't know this, but like, because most people understand the idea that in ad revenue, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, viewers,
Yeah.
etc. But when they introduced shorts, so people didn't cheat the system because they realized they could get so much quicker views because 30-second videos, 10-second whatever, and so they consider the viewers as lesser almost, right?
Okay.
As like,
revenue?
I don't,
But you still should make a penny, right? You're not making anything, you said, right?
not yet.
Yeah. So,
But you, so
Will
I,
you eventually?
yeah,
okay.
but
So
What-
is
yeah.
the brain rot a way for you to get those?
what do you mean they're fake?
Like, listen, your whole point. I mean, get me if I'm wrong, but like when you're going to the Navy SEAL, you're going to the Stanford, you're going to the improvement guy.
Like you're getting like
you
real
want to
like
send a message. You want to improve your.
Right.
You're
You want
getting
people to
professional
gain
people.
stuff.
You know, this all comes down to branding.
Your brand.
What is your brand?
My brand?
Who are you?
Improvement.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
what
am-
is your?
yeah.
It all matters. Like, are you a guy someone just wants to scroll and go through all their videos, or like,
You're an impressive young man.
or do you,
I appreciate
do
it.
you want someone like watching the 1 hour videos? Like, what do you care about more?
I care about people watching my content and getting something from it, like whether it be in their day, like learning a lesson, whatever.
You know, you usually text me for the holidays, right? Happy
Oh, yeah,
Merry
that's a good
Christmas,
transition right
Happy
there.
New Year.
I don't think you ever missed a holiday with me except for this one.
I will say, I was waiting. I the whole day I woke up expecting a text from you. You do get up early than me, you know, maybe because of improvement. We kind of influence you to do that.
I definitely do.
Of course.
You know,
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
amen.
Yeah,
Amen,
that's
go.
beautiful.
But you know, I
No, I
quite
just found it odd. I mean,
Yeah.
you would text me for happy hamburger day, you know?
Yeah.
Well done, of course.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, that's not going to cut out.
You also missed my sister on Merry Christmas. We were very disappointed about that, but you did apologize, and it was all okay.
Yeah, yeah. Look, man. It totally slipped my mind. I was probably doing something that day.
I understand.
Yeah, like I was, you know, it could have been anything. Honestly, you
It
know.
goes a long way.
It does. It really makes me feel better when I wake
Honestly,
up to a
Of
George.
course, bro. Yeah,
It brightens my day.
I appreciate that.
It really does.
Well, that's why
And
I
I hope
do
the
it.
viewers know how nice that is.
I appreciate that.
Wait, so can we hear more about this trashless society?
Oh yeah. So Dennis, my good friend here, as you can see.
Mhm.
So he
Yeah.
suggested an idea.
And me and Jake are very both on board with this.
Oh, we are absolutely.
We've talked about this previously. We think it's the only way we could really go further as a society.
Yeah, and
Civilization.
You know, later
Right.
we'll mention examples of this, but it has worked in other societies.
All right, well, let's hear it. Let me hear it. I'm
Dennis-
familiar with this. What is a trashless society?
So basically, it starts when, here's the biggest problem with it.
Wait. First question, what do you consider trash?
So, if there's
What's your definition?
If there's
What's your definition of trash?
so if there's a trash can, I want to abolish trash cans because
We don't want there to be use for them, so they would just be taking up space. That's the end goal.
here's a few things. To me, this is the biggest transition, right? You know, like people try to transition everyone from gas cars to EV cars. It's going to take forever. There's a lot of things in place we would need to change. So I think for us to have a trashless society, we would have to say by 2030 it's going to be a trashless society and phase everything out. For example, we have this right here. What's the use of this?
Right.
You know?
I understand.
How else would you drink something then?
So it would be required for everyone to have a metal bottle to walk around.
Yeah.
And-
The essentials.
The essential. And
Okay.
I can't think of
hear
one
me out,
thing.
Hear me out. Let's say I don't have
Are
a
you
metal
gonna play
bottle.
devil's advocate?
Let's say I don't have a metal bottle. What do you support people just like going under the tap and just like like going like the mouth like?
I mean, I think everyone that could drive their way to Panera can afford a metal bottle. Frankly, I think it would really save a lot. I don't think there's anything
What
in this
about
world
the
that should be
what
thrown
about
in
the metal
trash.
companies, man?
What about the metal companies?
Yeah, they're gonna do great,
What about
and
them?
there's gonna be a lot more competition because in capitalism, they're gonna take
I don't
advantage
know
of
if you
that.
realize this, but our planet is running out of materials. You realize that, right?
Right.
And they're no, but here's my thing: we're running out of room, and the amount of room that landfills take is really concerning to our Earth. If we eliminate, look, we have our landfills now, whatever, right? We have those, but if we never make another landfill again, we're gonna have all that room to expand the entire world out.
Yeah.
So if you think about that,
Build hospitals.
everything,
Walmarts.
everything, parking lots, everything. So I just don't see a need. You tell me one thing that would have to be thrown in the trash.
What do you mean? Like,
Tell me something that you believe that wouldn't work in a trash society.
Let's say
I
let's
can't
say I'm
think of
blowing my
anything.
nose.
there is one.
Let's say I'm
What?
wait.
Radioactive materials. And
No,
that same, that,
there's no need for that. Not at all. And
No.
first of all, you don't just throw that into a landfill.
I know,
That's
there's special-
completely different.
Okay,
so
let's
that's
say
not a
let's
good
say I have to blow my nose.
Yeah.
Get a tissue, pull it out, blow my nose.
Well,
and
no,
throw it in the trash.
no. We're not doing tissues anymore. We're transforming. You know how this might be too much for the microphone, but some religions they don't use toilet paper, right?
That's
What
fine.
religions?
Muslim, I think, right?
I don't know. You're the one. You're the one.
You
saying
know
it.
the religion
No,
in Bali?
stop.
Bali.
No, let me cook.
I
Muslim
don't
religions,
know. Yeah.
homes, they don't have toilet paper. They use a bidet, right? So
No, maybe they do. I don't
bidet,
know.
whatever
Yeah.
it's called. So
No, they don't. You're actually right.
the water, because they don't believe. Here's a good example. If you put your hand up your butt and you start wiping it, and then you wipe it with the tissue, do you think your hand's clean?
No.
So they believe the same thing with your butt, right?
Right.
So they believe the only way to actually cleanse it is to have a higher pressure thing to go up there and actually clean it.
Right.
So to me,
feels pretty good too.
and it does probably feel great.
Yeah.
So I believe we could implement the same thing for that exact situation.
Okay, listen to me. I wasn't talking about like when you use toilet paper, it goes down the toilet. It's not trash. I'm talking about tissues.
Yeah, and I just said instead of tissues, we're going to come up with a solution. Like I said,
water
we're going to have to
tissues?
phase it out. So instead of making it right now, we're going to have a trash society. We're saying in 2030 we're going to have a trash society, and all these companies are going to be rushing to make the first automated nose blower.
How would that work though? Like, what do you mean? by
Same
that?
way that a bidet works. Same way.
So the sewer system. Like I'm saying,
No,
like
sir,
where
sir, just with you can do it with simple water, you can do it with air pressure. There's
Oh,
plenty of
yeah,
ways
yeah.
that they've researched. You could replace.
I heard that's how NASA does it when they're in space. Isn't that
Yeah,
what they
because
do?
that would because
you
it would fly everywhere, and the tissue stuff would not work. Think about
I
it.
heard they use like high pressure air.
And they could easily mass produce that to make it more affordable for the average consumer.
Is there anything else that you could think that you don't think would work in a trash society?
I just don't see any downside to it at all. I think we need to become more reusable with everything else. There's no reason to throw stuff
What about
out.
napkins?
There's no need. There's no need.
Audit
You
that-
wash your hands.
that's the same
We're
thing.
going to build more sinks everywhere we go
So
to
when-
where you don't, right there. Build a sink right there. We don't need all these useless napkins we're wasting. Right there. There's no need
where the
for me
fire
not
extinguisher
to.
is.
Right there, where those chairs are. There needs to be more sinks everywhere, and I say this all the time because even just for simplicity. Like when I eat, I'm a messy eater. I like to wash my hands. But then it's a single bathroom and it's full, and I have to wait for some guy taking 20 minutes in the bathroom doing God knows what, and I just want to wash my hands.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean I'm in agreement with you. I don't really see many downsides to it. So when
So
you
tell
say
me, is there anything else you can think of? That
Okay.
I can't
So,
think of
Yeah, I
anything.
have a good one. So you know when you dry your clothes off, there's lint. Throw that lint in the garbage. Where do you put that lint in the trash?
I think we can come up with better solutions than have
probably
washing machines.
biodegradable.
And also nowadays, new washer machines like the ones that like I know like the new Samsung washer machines, they produce zero lint, so it's just different. They wash it in different ways so where there's no more lint. So
I think Apple should probably look to me.
that'd be pretty
yeah,
good.
it would be. But I'm just saying, as technology goes, like Dyson, Samsung, they already got rid of all lint. So
Right. I mean, again, like
I really
yeah.
can't think of anything.
But I don't know if this 2030 deadline, like how realistic.
So let's
is
say
that?
2035. I think we could do that because I
So-
think companies will flock. Can you imagine the first tissue replacement? How much money they're going to get?
Good amount. Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
I think the only problem would be like with anything with like future technology, which would just be people having to like in some way understand it and accept it because like,
no, because
like
People will understand it because they all understand they're making society
well like
better.
okay with like
No one wants trash. Do you like trash?
no I don't like trash. I don't
do
like
you like taking out the trash?
No.
Do you like landfills filling up all our room?
no yeah again like and I spoke to when I was talking
You know how against
Yeah.
people were about phones and iPads and how many people called Steve
Or
Jobs
like cars,
insane?
bro.
No,
Like,
but that's exactly
40
my
years
point.
ago,
Like,
there was
Think
no
about that.
cars.
That's what
People will get used to it.
yeah that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying
exactly. There's no
that's
cars.
that's what I'm
People
saying
were on horse and
That-
buggies and made fun of the Model T.
Yeah, that's why. But that's my point, though. Is just people. That's what I'm saying. When people need to understand it, because with any new idea, the first
People
part
are gonna
is
have to adapt, and people don't like
I
adapt.
have a
but-
question for you, George. So we're talking about this trashless society, 2035. It's also another thing that has a goal of 2035. Biden with his electric cars. Like no more gas cars in 2035. Only electric. So my question for you is, what do you think is more realistic?
a trashless society.
Trashless society or a gasless society?
I think.
I'll drop my take on this out there as an EV owner myself.
I think I would say electric cars because people have already kind of gotten used to that idea and accepted it.
Keep going.
Because, like, to your point, actually, you own one yourself, right? Like every other person I know owns one. A lot of people own them, and a lot of people know the company Tesla, right? But to introduce the idea of a trashless society, at first, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, how's that going to work?" Right? You're going to have a lot of questions. You're not going to understand it because you got to. I'm just saying, like, not everybody is.
Hey, I'm not
like,
getting rid of my car.
Like,
I have a Honda Accord V6 engine, runs on gas, been working since 2014. Why would I get rid of that? I love that car.
I
It's probably one of the biggest parts of my life. I drive that car every single day. I've probably driven already 50,000 miles this year. Like, what am I supposed to do? You want me to just hop out, throw it in the garbage?
right, but with a
No, not at all. This is what I think personally, as an EV owner myself. I realize I'm realistic. I know it doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for people living in apartments. It doesn't work for people living in Montana when there's a supercharger 400 miles close to them. It doesn't work for a lot of people, unfortunately. I love mine. I live in a suburban where I have 6 superchargers, which 5 miles away from me.
yeah.
I can charge it every night at my house if I want. I have a garage. It works perfectly for me. But it doesn't work for most people. And it's not realistic.
Convenient. Yeah.
It's not realistic.
Nothing's better than good old fossil fuels.
And I think, well, that could
Good,
be debated.
reliable fossil fuels. See how unreliable these electric cars are?
Yeah,
You know,
well, I
that
haven't
is his
really-
car.
I haven't
See how
had
many
a problem.
ti-
I had
his
one
car was
great
at
problem.
2% the whole time. You know when he charged it? This morning. It just shows how many miles you drive today? Like 50 miles, and it's already had a
Wait, what?
charger?
No,
Well-
I haven't charged it all week.
Well, Sean-
Classic
Sean,
misinformation.
Sean, to your point,
It's the first time all week. No,
Like-
what I'm saying, hey, let me talk for a second. First of all, this
Especially with the cold weather.
cold weather's bad. There's a lot of downsides. I'm not saying there's not. There's a lot of upsides. I never paid a cent to drive, but I mean, I'm charging for free as we speak. But to me, also, the Tesla semi truck completely failed. So if you're telling Walmart they have to ship their groceries in an electric truck,
Baloney.
it's nonsense. It doesn't work because it has a 500-mile range, and when you tow something, it has 200-mile range. That's nothing, right? That's 2 hours of driving.
well,
So that doesn't work.
Wait, not
so
really.
if you're driving at a decent speed and you're towing that much, you're not going to get anything.
Driving at 100 miles per hour, yeah.
Right. So I don't find it realistic at all. And there's just too many people. I think a trashless society is far more realistic than making all cars EV. I really do. I really don't think. I think you'll be able to get people on board really quick about that. I don't think EVs you'll ever have everyone fully on board with that. I think a trashless society is a far better idea and a more realistic idea. Jake, what do you think?
Listen, just to go off, what is more realistic to happen? I know a lot more people. I mean, me, myself. You think I'm driving an electric car?
No.
No chance.
yeah.
Why?
No chance.
What does that say about you? What are you trying to say?
Same thing it says about you.
It says he hates their.
You like your gas car.
No,
I'm kidding.
wait
I'm
a
kidding.
second.
I'm
Wait a
kidding. I'm
second.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Not liking an EV car doesn't mean you hate the earth.
I know, I'm
Quite
kidding,
frankly,
yeah.
I think, because first of all, they say you have to drive 35,000 miles just
Right.
for the amount of
Yeah.
energy and everything that it takes to build the batteries.
That was a joke, by the way. I just wanted
Okay, all right.
All right,
I'm just
but
saying.
speaking of jokes,
Wait, let me just speak.
Hold
So it takes
Okay.
that much just to equal out to a gas car.
Right.
But then I only charge on these chargers, which I believe is more everything else. The amount of where do you think that power is coming from? It's not coming from solar panels.
come from fossil fuels, like coal.
It's coming exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm saving anything in the environment by driving an electric car. I drive it because I like
have you
it.
seen these electric car like?
And also the
battery
mining.
mines?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
mining.
I said the mining, and I also said I charge here every single time. That's all fossil fuels, man. Come on.
Right. I mean, I'm not in disagreement with that, but you also got to understand that, I mean, the first version of anything, which we are still in the first versions of electric cars, right?
No.
We're in a very
No,
early
we're 15 years in. We're not.
But I'm saying, like,
the first
like-
version of the trashless society will be
Listen,
revolutionary.
people have more than warmed up to it, and you want to know what? Not everyone loves it. Most people don't like it, and
it's a preference.
I don't like it.
I mean,
like it one bit.
listen, I say the first 2 months, maybe there's an adjustment period for the trash society.
Right.
I don't even
But
know if it'll take that long, frankly. I really don't.
Why not? I give it the 2 months. But you want
You
to,
do?
and it'll be a rough 2 months. And after those 2 months, I think every single person in the history of the world will be on board.
Well, we already have some
Every
cities
single
that tried
person
this.
through the world.
Right. We spoke about this before. I remember you mentioning.
There's
that.
a city. What is it? Ghana. There's a city that tried it.
Yeah, so
Working well.
basically, it's been
But the only
best,
thing.
it was rated the best functioning society. in
But
the
the
world
only
right now.
the only problem with it is it's like what Sean said about the tissues. They haven't figured out a tissue solution.
Right.
But besides that,
But I mean, listen,
we will figure that out.
Like,
Without
on the
that,
problem,
You know what? A
We're
big
there.
thing that I have to address is the small businesses. small businesses in America are already struggling. They have to pay all the money. They're gonna have to buy all these new products to get rid of trash. How are
No
they
big
gonna
deal.
afford that?
No
You
big
wanna
deal.
kill small
Think
businesses?
about, first of
It's
all,
gonna be easy for Walmart. It's gonna be easy for Target. It's gonna be
Not at
easy
all.
for Home Depot.
Not at all.
But for these small businesses, they're gonna suffer.
it's gonna be very easy for everyone because they have a lot less stuff to throw out. Everything's gonna be reusable to where they don't need to throw out all this
What
wrapping,
about
all
these
this
new
crap.
technologies?
They don't need all-
No tissues, no napkins.
It's not gonna cost anything. It's not gonna cost anything. It's gonna be very cheap stuff. I wouldn't worry about that at all.
And you're also fixing.
What are you
all the world's
supposed? What are you
problems.
supposed to do like when all the electronics fail, or like when you just have to throw stuff out that you don't need anymore?
What have you ever thrown out an electronic?
Yeah, like see this mic. Let's say it just breaks. What am I gonna do with it?
You repair it. Because what we're gonna have in a trash society.
Let's say I dump it underwater for 5 minutes. What am I supposed to do?
Well, this is the thing. Look at my GoPro right here. Right. This is a $900 GoPro.
Right.
We're
It's
gonna
good
have higher
quality, yeah.
quality stuff. I was in the Bahamas with that.
It's gonna force innovation, basically.
10 feet underwater with that.
Right.
Damn, 10 feet underwater. What are you doing?
Well, alright, maybe I'm exaggerating. But it was deep.
Yeah.
Point is, we're gonna have higher quality stuff. No offense to this mic, but I don't know if it can really stand the test of time.
It's not-
We're gonna
yeah.
have stuff that stands the test of time, right? Because I still have an iPhone 6 that I use once in a while,
Yeah.
working just fine. So we need products like that.
What do we do
you
with
know?
the iPhone boxes?
That's a good question.
Why do we need boxes?
We don't need boxes.
But
But
you're
no,
just gonna go in the store and just get the iPhone.
Well, we're not reselling them. Why do we need boxes?
What if you are reselling them?
We're not.
Are we
well,
gonna ban
okay.
reselling?
So
No, but it's just gonna make it harder.
It's not needed in the world, so
It's not.
no reason to think of that
At all.
Stuff.
right, but because I want to understand the process here. So when you say trashless society, right, like with everything that is considered wasteful trash,
Well,
like materials, like let's just say, for
A
example,
lot of it isn't actually wasteful. You just program your mind.
no, but I'm saying like
That's
like,
it. You're not.
No,
this is
no.
the same thing with the garage.
No,
You're
oh,
inside the box right now. You have to think outside the box.
So okay, so like let's just say,
And you're putting your own needs in front of the good of the world.
okay, no, I'm just, but
That's
I,
my.
but it's a question. It's a question.
No, it's
Well,
true.
I do reason with you.
I want to understand this stuff. So, and I'm not against it. I am very for it, but I also want to understand the idea.
Yeah,
Like, I wanna
appreciate
know
it. No,
how
I
it
understand
works.
that. You're being understanding. I like that.
So, okay, so like, for example, let's just say you go to a 7-Eleven or Amazon Prime, you order something, right? It like all the boxes they have in all these warehouses. What are we going to do with them, right? Like,
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's not. We're not going to say tomorrow we have a trashless society. I'm saying in 2030, that means you slowly phase everything out.
right?
Understand?
I mean, what you could do is.
Do you remember when
boxes.
you remember when New Jersey banned plastic bags? They
Yes,
slowly phased it out.
Right.
That was a good.
true.
Got rid of plastic bags. I mean,
But what did they do?
There's no plastic bags in this entire restaurant.
My
They had them
yeah.
before, and they phased them out slowly. It's
what
going
do
to
you
be the same
think?
thing.
What do you think a napkin ban would look like? We ban napkins tomorrow. Well, what would happen?
Then there would be like a sink there, and
It's
then,
going to slowly phase out.
and then there might be like a sink there eventually.
It's not going to be a big deal at all. People just need to just have an open mind and think outside the box. You're still in the box a bit. I like to get you out of the box, you know? Roddy Ricch always said, the man outside of the box is the better man, right?
I think people need to learn a little bit of patience and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because most people will be opposed to that idea in some
I don't think I've talked to a lot of
like-
people about it. I've only received good, like positive
But-
support. I'm curious to
but
see what the
I'm saying-
comments say.
I'm saying-
but I think a lot of people will be on board.
But
I really do.
you've explained it well, and I've been open to listen. I'm saying not everybody is willing to open their ears and knowing how laws can be passed in the United States. You know, unfortunately, it can be a slow process. So, you know, and I understand with the 2035, but you have to get, you know, a lot of people on board, and they have to really see it, and older people too. Like, in
Do you
US
not think they
Congress.
would be on board?
Maybe. Again, I'm not, but I'm saying like not every like. Okay,
So,
like let me
George,
like, yeah,
look,
So
you know what? You're 18 next year. Next year, they hit you with the ballot as a surprise question. Do you support a trashless society?
vote yes.
What do you say?
I vote yes.
Say yes?
Yes, I
Okay,
say I agree.
That's your answer.
But you have explained it to me. Not again.
okay, but
Not
It's not about if I agree, but it's about like the shock factor.
yes.
I
that's
first
what
read
it
Trash
is.
Society. I was like, what the?
yeah.
Yeah.
You believe that? Yeah, you don't have to. I believe myself, but you know, like it's scary, bro. Like I like what I have. People like what they already have. They don't want to change.
It's true.
One thing you'll learn as you grow older is that people don't like change.
Especially older people.
Especially older people.
Yeah.
Think about it, like, let's say I'm like 80 years old. I live my whole life I worked. I retired.
And they see all this new
And
stuff.
now you're telling me you want to ban napkins? Are you kidding me?
That's my point. Like with like in Congress, for example, like I mean, it's a lot of older people, in
the
Congress,
mean age
and
is
they
like 71.6,
Right.
3 or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
I
also
don't think
think
it quite matters.
recently people are more
Hey,
open to.
okay, you can't say that
different
part doesn't matter
ideas.
because votes are votes.
No.
You can't change anything. With
No,
the
but that
people.
bill would be a straight to polling bill. That would be so big for the country. It wouldn't be a Congress bill even. That would be a straight to polling.
yeah,
bill.
but you got to bring attention to it first. Like it has to be.
Attention would be brought to it right away.
Well,
In fact, I know Vivek would support that. So when he's president in 2032,
if he runs again, which he probably will, but when I bring him on the podcast, we'll talk about it. Okay.
I'm sure he'll be for that.
And I mean, considering that he's out of the presidential race,
He's
this
definitely
time
got
around.
the time to come on the podcast. That's
yeah, so now he does. But I mean, I don't
Have
know.
you reached out to him?
No.
You should. 'Cause I
should.
think he would be happy to be on the podcast. He's
That'd
doing
be-
quite
that'd
the
be
media tours right now.
He was on the Full Send podcast.
I highly respect it.
You know who else was? A lot of people have been on the Full Send podcast.
Is Julian Dory on it?
No, Julian Doyle was not on it. But what's it called? Donald Trump was on it.
Of course. So I watched that.
Robert O'Neill was on it. Man who killed Osama bin Laden.
Oh,
Let me
Have you
think.
reached out to him? I feel like that's a you style interview.
a lot of Navy SEALs and a lot of Marines.
I've
Like
had
that
3 Navy SEAls, 3 FBI agents so far. It's
Oh, did I tell you about? Well, not technically my uncle, but someone I know is actually a. How do I explain this? He's a detective, basically. Did I show you the news article? that he
No,
was in?
I don't think so. No.
Oh yeah, so he was actually in the news article. I could probably get him on the podcast.
Pretty cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Is he like federal or like local or state?
Federal.
He's for what agency? FBI?
I don't know. He's high class. Yeah, he's FBI, I believe.
Well, I mean, if he's still working there, then the problem would be that people that are still working there, they need to speak to their like security chief or whatever.
Oh,
like
is that
maybe-
right?
Yeah. So that it's like a lot. Like all the guys that I've had on, they're all former. Because
Oh, okay.
when they're currently in the SEALs or Secret Service or whatever, it's always like they got to talk to a media guy. Are they? Are you engaging in brain rot?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
ADHD? Huh?
No.
Anyway,
Sorry. Just checking my.
This is why I can't make those types of clips anymore. It breeds people like him.
Bro, I was just
Yeah,
checking my
yeah, it
stock
does.
portfolio.
No, I
bro.
know. I'm messing with you.
I gotta keep up with my day trading.
I know. I'm messing with
day
But-
trading. Yeah.
you. But
Anyway, all right. So,
Yeah.
what is your final opinion on it? I want to hear a full
I agree.
thought.
Well, I mean, from what you have told me and from what you have explained to me,
I see
it
zero
seems-
flaws.
I see zero flaws as well, and I've heard of other societies that have done this. Like you go
The
to
one in Ghana?
well, you guys. I think you guys told me about that.
Yeah.
Or like Dubai, you go there, it's pristine, right? Like
Yeah,
everywhere.
but they're not trashless. Though.
No,
But they are. But I'm saying like
They're not fully trashless.
I think
yet.
they're closer than
They're
America.
closer than us, but they're not
but-
fully trashless.
Wait, can I have some final
Yeah.
words just for me personally?
Wait, let
I'll-
George finish, and then you can go.
I'm saying
I want to
that
tie this back to the beginning after.
from my understanding, which
There's just no
from what
need
you
for
told
this
me,
right here.
There's exactly. It just I think it would work out. Bless you. I think it's something that needs to be more attention to. I think that
Yep.
there needs to be more talk about it.
Yeah.
Because whenever people talk about conserving the environment, I feel like the conversation deviates a lot and not like not in like a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of everywhere. There's no like it's always like, oh, electric cars really good. No, they're not.
Electric
because-
cars that the power is being made from.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's made of coal or climate change activists, for example. I'm not saying that like they have a good idea, but like not everybody agrees. Some people are like, oh, like climate change isn't real. Like it deviates in so many paths, and you can go into so many ways about talking about how to protect the environment. But I think, and I've thought about this before too, and I talked to Julian Dory about this on the podcast, where I'm like, when you go to New York, like it's just trash everywhere. It's a dirty city,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
It's not.
It is.
It's
It's a disgrace.
it is. No, it is
Really is.
absolutely, and it's
and it's sad because
It used to be the
for
city. It
Christmas
used to be the
time-
best city in the world, man.
Yeah, it's really sad. Like I was walking around at Christmas time, and every single block you get stopped by a homeless person. You don't do anything about it. Just
Yeah,
homeless. Someone bothering you. I had
Yeah.
a terrible experience in the
somebody
subway,
doing
homeless
drugs.
person
Yeah,
that stopped the entire subway because they felt like it. And
It's
then
just not-
you go to like Miami, which is a better run city, and I was there for a week and I didn't encounter a single homeless person.
Yeah. Well, the
They-
mayor.
they clean them out because there it's illegal. They say that you're making your home and you're not paying rent at
Yeah.
a 7-Eleven. It's
Well,
not
Miami-
allowed. That's
Miami-
illegal.
yeah.
They throw you in jail.
Miami has a good mayor, Francis Suarez.
He's a dude. I said this a while ago. He should run. I think he's
He did.
phenomenal.
He did, but he he didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't get that far.
I know. But I
But-
think he's phenomenal.
I think he should. I would like to see him as president.
Yeah.
Like I think,
He's great.
like he would be an interesting run for presidency because he's not like I feel like he has a good idea of how to run
Yeah,
things.
he's Hispanic too.
And
Hispanic.
yeah,
man.
and he's and he's likable too. He's not like so far out from the public. That, you know. But I like him.
Anyway, Trump.
All right, so my big question, I can leave you guys all with, which I'm really wondering, is that we want to live in a trashless society, but we also don't want that tank to win. Where's the tank gonna go? If the tank blows up, where's the tank gonna go? If we're in a trashless society.
I think you can
Listen,
reuse that.
the Fox
It's a
can't.
shelter.
The Fox can't win. The Gorillas can't win in a trashless society. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how would we possibly.
Well, that's how the Fox would win.
How would
if you
we-
think about it?
Listen, if the
Any
tank,
scenario
any
you're
scenario
gonna
where the tank loses,
The Fox will come
the
out on
trashless
top.
society loses. I don't think you realize that.
But the Fox will
Yeah,
come
no,
out.
that is
Yeah.
actually true.
From the way I laid it out in the interview. But then again, we are thinking outside the box, so I mean, you never know. But the way I laid it out in the interview, the requirements for the tank to win would be that the man or the tank itself is incapacitated. It can't go further.
Where does that tank go? If it can't go back, where's it going to go? It's trash at
a
that point.
Fox couldn't eat it technically.
But it could be repaired. It could technically be repaired.
Yeah, it could be repaired.
Yeah,
that's
have you
why.
seen the Foxes nowadays? It'll be
Nowadays,
broken beyond. It'll be broken beyond.
No, not
repair.
nowadays. Back then is what we're
Back
saying.
then.
But yeah,
The thing would be broken beyond repair. I don't know. That's just,
How many
that's just-
foxes we're talking about? One?
one
all
Fox.
you need, man.
That's what I was talking about before. How the reason they've stood the test of time is they had a bunch of attributes. Like now they got now they're doing concert and they're doing performances, but weird reference. But they were way more beastly, and they were the top of the food chain.
You know they're the
really.
second oldest mammal in the history of planet Earth?
That's what I'm saying. They're like
Yeah.
original, like the crocodiles and the
Not a mammal.
the dinosaurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you're
So
talking about.
that's why they've stood the test of time so long.
They're-
They're the top. They're the top G, as you would say. You know?
I wouldn't say that. I would say they're the top F.
Ah, thoughts.
But of course, bro.
That's
dumb. That's dumb. So
W's in the shot.
It was well done.
it was well done.
Well done.
That's a good. That's a dub. That's a dub. That's a dub. That's a dub. So, in terms of 8 gorillas or a tank, right? If you have to think inside the box here, right? If you I mean, no, you don't have to. Like, it's your world. Do whatever you want.
I think
but
you naturally think inside the
That-
box, but
George,
we are free
that's a little-
thinkers.
yeah,
we don't do that.
You say I have to think inside the box. I can't. I
That's a
give
you
up. I
issue.
can't.
That's a you issue.
right.
It's not possible.
Pulling out the white flag.
There just is not a box
Pulling the
for us to
plug.
think inside us, and that's what you're not understanding.
Yeah.
You can't.
Do you
there is
remember
no
the Roddy
box.
Rich quote?
Those who think outside of the box are more successful than those who don't, or something like that.
No, but it's close enough. You get the point.
Yeah, it's.
You know Roddy Rich?
I
He-
think so.
he-
Yeah, rapper.
Yeah, the
Yes,
rapper that
okay.
sings The Box. That's what the song's about.
Like people thinking inside.
But the
Pulling that
deeper
Cooper a
meaning is
lot.
that there is no box. That's the deeper meaning.
It's like pulling out on the box. You get it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right.
Another big thing about that is that he's the 2020 president candidate. I don't know if that has any allusion to taking out of the
No,
box.
yeah,
but-
because he's thinking outside the box. He's not even 35, but he still thinks he can be a president because he's outside of the box. You know, a man inside the box would say, "I can't run." He wants to change the rules.
That's what the box limits him to.
I mean, he made a rolly land on a landing strip. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
He made a rules.
That hits right
No,
here.
a rolly, like a
Rolex.
Rolex.
Because when you say roll, it can be like. Rolls
Yeah,
Royce,
I'm
Rolls
talking about like
Royce.
like a Rolex, like a
A time
like
piece.
a
yeah.
Submariner.
But
yeah.
the fact that
Yeah.
you didn't know what he meant by that means that you're not thinking inside the box anymore. So
No,
I commend you for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Very good
yeah.
job.
Yeah,
Of course,
it
bro.
can be anything. I like that.
I take your advice. This is why I'm telling you,
learning.
man. I'm changing the clips.
I think I've learned in this podcast.
I've learned.
Yeah,
Everyone here has
it's
learned
great.
except Dennis.
It's great.
Dennis already knows everything.
It's great to bounce each. You know, you got to bounce ideas off each other because no one's perfect, and we can all learn from each other.
Right, absolutely, man. That's tough. Yes, that's a dub. That's a dub.
W's in the shot.
Of course, bro. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I think part of what you're saying about a trashless society is also removing my wasteful content. like what you were saying, what you were suggesting to me. I want in this. We're talking about good ideas and
let me hear this.
So,
let me hear this.
Yeah,
so-
does
so-
trash go beyond just throwing trash out? Does it go beyond?
think
I think it
deeper.
goes to the concept of trash.
I think we need,
You know,
That's thinking out of the box.
Because there is no
That's
box
thinking
of what trash is.
Right. So I removed the box. I took your suggestion. I
Right,
took
let me
your
hear this.
advice. So I showed Jake one of my clips has not been released yet. Probably will be.
Whoa! You got unreleased content?
Well, I showed him too. I showed him in the car. I'll show you later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's secret,
Whoa.
but I did
I
get
didn't-
that. Yeah.
But
I'm not
so-
gonna leak it.
okay. Yeah, bet. But it was with It was with the postdoctoral researcher at the University of Stanford. Not the professor, but he's like a research fellow. So
Okay.
he has PhD and he studies under somebody, and he studies how social media basically affects people. And as you can imagine, it's not a positive effect. But I spoke to him about like why that actually is
Was this how social media is ruining your life?
and why it's your fault. And I noted that specifically, but with my
that clip. Oh,
but with my content, like, and taking your suggestion, I'm going to like move away from the brain rot because I do want my content.
important.
I want my content.
You want to
be
have a
better quality.
sophisticated viewer.
Yeah.
You're, like this.
Who cares about the message?
We're not fooling
That's
around
what-
here. This
yeah.
isn't loud and louder anymore. We're talking about deep concepts outside of the box.
Right. So and exactly that's why I'm thinking.
And you want to know what? Maybe for Loud and Louder, you could have the brain rot. Because that is more casual, laid
Yeah, it's more
back,
casual.
kick
This
back.
isn't casual at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to be quite frank
but
with
the
you.
way that I'm seeing it, right, is that I actually like I started like I edited that video and like by the time I was done with it, it didn't feel cheap anymore. That makes sense. Like it didn't, and I'll show you.
Well, when you
as
put
soon as-
work into something, it's no longer.
Well, the thing is, like,
Mhm.
it's like it went from stages for me because when I first started, it was just literally pressing the remix button and taking 60 seconds of a clip, no editing at all, and just maybe putting a title on top.
And you're not putting your heart into that. And then when you
And
put
then-
your heart into it, right, that shows to the audience.
That's the way
that
you
they
grow.
value
That's
it.
the way you grow.
So what happened was I kept seeing like 50 views, and then a few different people actually suggested. It wasn't just one YouTuber, but it was like, and then just a few different people. They all spoke to me. They were like, look, you can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I kind of believed that it was all a big lottery system. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. But then I actually started taking their advice, and I'm like, you know what? Let me actually try editing a video. And I explained to you before. Like, next thing I know, I made like
As Juice
quick-
WRLD would say,
I mean-
hard work pays off.
I made quick edits and it started working. But then I started to use brain rot as like a way to make like
Quick, cheap views. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Quick cheap videos.
Views.
The
Views.
views themselves, they not quality views. I wouldn't say cheap views.
Cheap views.
Actually, you know what?
I'm
cheap
going to
views.
say it like that.
You know
So.
what?
Inexpensive views.
Inexpensive. That's a better. Yes.
Frugal views.
Yes. Yeah. No, of course. So, and I started thinking about more what you're saying of like you gotta get a better audience of like you don't want to just make trash clips. Some of the clips using brain rot were okay.
I'm not going to lie.
But
I didn't really need to know that Josh didn't have notifications on his phone.
not Josh. What? DJ Ford.
Oh, DJ Ford. I don't know who he's calling Josh. I didn't really need DJ Ford. I didn't need to know he didn't have notifications. And first of all, he did have notifications on his phone. He didn't have the buzz on.
Well, okay. So with
Right,
that
So
clip,
you're kind of clickbaiting.
well, no. So
and
look,
we discussed how those views were kind of clickbait.
Yeah, you titled it "Why He Doesn't Have Notifications on His Phone," and he said, "I do have notifications on my phone."
And I'm not
They're just
accusing
muted.
you. I'm not accusing you
Right?
of that because I think you're clickbaiting. I'm saying that because you don't want people to get that impression, and I think that is what people can get. And I don't want because
Yeah.
that's not
yeah,
what's in your heart.
Yeah,
I want
no,
people
yeah.
to know to get the message that you want in that heart.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, because look, and I really did take everybody's advice, like where they're saying don't make, like, because I honestly brain rot. I just found something that worked, and I'm like, okay, like it works, and that was it, and I just kind of stopped
But
at
the
that.
question is does
Yeah.
it really work? And that's what you need to dig deep.
But it did.
It works on the surface.
No,
It works-
No,
no, on the
it
surface.
works inside the box.
You are right. You know what? It works within a limit because it was always a max of like 20,000 views, and that's not bad. Like that's a good amount of views.
You want uncapped potential. That's called capped potential, right there.
Yeah. I want unboxed potential. And
Both of them fun.
so, anyways, the way that I started making, I want to make quality, good, legitimate quality videos. I want to move away from just like quick clips, because look, to be fair, brain rot every once in a while is a little good for advertisement. Like
I'll never
think
support it. I'm going to be honest.
If that's you don't want to advertise your product as something it isn't though. So you're saying it as an advertisement thing.
Surface level baloney.
You're saying as an advertisement thing, so someone's going to see that, right, and draw you in. They're going to be drawn into the fake you, not what's in that heart.
True. And you know what? Look,
I'd rather have 3 real fans than 3 million fake fans.
Because those 3 fans are going to go to war for you.
That's ride or die.
That's true. Yeah. And look, you know what? I appreciate the conversation more because now I'm basically in the faith of the brain rot. And I'm going to continue editing videos like I showed you. And I will show you.
Improvement Pill did say this one. You know Improvement Pill. Yeah.
The man I had on the podcast.
Of course.
You guys should go watch. But see, that's a good advertisement. Not that cheap BS. Don't lose that out.
Yeah.
Because, I lose that myself. But also, with an Improvement Pill and something, it's like, who's sure went along the lines of, I could be misquoting. The ones you have value, right, are always going to be more important than the ones with zero value. It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter how much of them there are. They don't bring any value. It's like 100 times 0 is the same as 3 times 0.
Right.
0.
Yeah.
I remember you always said that.
Yeah. So
and again, that's you. Again, we're talking about learning. Improvement Pill, great guy. Yeah. He will improve yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, you can watch the first episode of the podcast on the channel where, I mean, that guy was super gracious to come on first episode, right? And I am so grateful to him for that. But I'm just, and I agree.
One could say it was delightful, a delightful world.
That was the
one
original
could say he interviewed you.
No, first episode. No,
absolutely not.
No, first episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. I yapped. I interviewed him, but but it was the first version of it. But it was something.
Would you say it was deeper than your other podcasts?
Some parts of it. Not all, because it depends on what podcast.
Do you think you were more raw in terms of now? Like, I'm not saying you're fake now, but I'm saying there is that interview persona that you're putting on, that interviewer persona. Compared to then, it was more a little raw.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Last week, you were more real than you were with DJ4.
Well,
you were more yourself.
I'll tell you why that is. It's nothing to do with the person I had on. It's really just the method of interviewing. Because when I'm doing an interview with somebody where I don't see them in person, like right now I'm seeing you in person, I can speak, right? Like there's no lag, there's no like all the stuff with the computer. And this is why I just let my guests talk, and why I can sometimes feel like they talk a lot, right? Like I don't stop my guests because I just want them to like speak their minds. I don't want to be like a rude interview. I don't want to be like, oh, but what about this? And it's like on the computer, it's delayed. It just doesn't work out, right? But if I'm in person, if I need to stop you or whatever, I can ask a question. It's much quicker. There's less of a delay, right? That's why, like, if you know me personally, right? Like, yes. So, like, I'll call you instead of texting you a lot of times, right? Like, I remember, like, when I gave you my charger, like, I called you instead of texting you. I wasn't like,
sorry for that incident.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But what a moment.
But I will call because I just prefer conversation, quick conversation. If I can ask you something quick instead of texting you, then I will.
It's more to the heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can hear my voice and stuff, and like it's just quick. I had everybody's videos.
To talk about one thing, what was your thoughts on Ridgewood as a town?
It's all right.
Overrated or underrated?
Here we go.
Okay.
We could play that game.
We could. In my humble opinion, I think it's okay.
Overrated or underrated. There's no middle ground. There's no.
Now you're gonna be inside the box.
It depends. It depends on
the one time.
Nice.
However, your explanation will not have a box.
Okay,
but your answer needs to be inside the box.
Parts of it overrated.
No, say overrated or underrated.
But now you're making me force to think back inside the box. What do you want from me, Dennis?
This is the exception.
Dennis, what do you? This is not an exception.
Over or under? That's it.
No, but now you're making me think inside the box, which is the whole point.
I'll say my opinion. It is the most overrated town in the history of America.
Easily.
Why do you say that? I'm curious.
Tell me things to do besides have mid lunches or dinners.
And overpriced. What are you going to
Always terrible service.
You want to go to Tito's Burritos?
True.
Is that really what you want to do?
No.
You want to go to The Office.
I mean, they didn't close down the one solid restaurant. Well, I mean, no, not restaurant, food place, which is Orange Leaf.
That's all right.
It was
Hardly
all
even
right.
that.
They closed it down.
Yeah, it was a good spot to eat.
Orange Leaf was
Disagree.
All right, why do you disagree? Are you
Why?
too busy stop trading?
sorry.
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't really like orange leaf. I don't know, like frozen yogurt. I think was just a trend. It was,
Yeah, I
like,
agree with that.
really big.
Actually, I think it's very
all
mid.
all the stores started popping up and they all started closing down. They were dropping like flies. I mean, like frozen yogurt's good, but everyone knows ice cream's better. So it
I disagree with that.
Jake, I don't care about it.
What?
You want to take it outside, bro?
You want to take this to a ladder episode?
You want to get a little louder?
I think we should do our conclusion now.
Why are you in a hurry to go?
Yeah.
He has to
What
trade
happened?
stocks. He has to
Yeah,
trade
he's
stocks.
not his
No,
phone
what
last
happened? You
20
on your
minutes.
phone?
Yeah, it's not like you noticed anything
I'm a
happened.
businessman. I got business plans, bro.
What happened?
Okay,
Why are you-
how many shares? What stocks? Like, you know what? Let's.
Bro, you couldn't even understand. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you couldn't
Wait,
understand?
wait, why does he have a beef with everyone on this podcast?
Clip this. The rage episode.
I just made 10 bands. What are you guys talking about?
Did you? Can we see?
Bro, money talks.
Bro, why are you always asking people for funds?
That's just a question.
George, I also disagree with you about what you said. Asking that dude how much he made was very rude.
Which guy?
Well, he didn't have to answer. I mean,
Last
if
week,
I
what was his name?
no,
Julian Dorsey?
Julian Dory.
Are you asking him
He
this
gets
pressure?
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
he said
no,
I'm not going to answer that question.
no. So
I was a rude question.
well, no. Okay, so if I kept pushing the envelope, that would have been rude. But me just asking like, oh, how does
you
it
should
pay?
never
Like,
ask that of a guy. That's
no,
kinda-
but
that's
he
very
said
rude.
he had a
What'd he
Wall.
say?
He said he's like, oh, I had a job in Wall Street for a while, now I'm doing this, and I'm like, how was Wall Street? Like, how much did it pay? And like, how was the
Hey,
money?
you asked. No. He said I made a lot of money. You go. Can I get a number?
Like, yeah, but like that's not a.
It's just very rude. He said
He didn't-
I don't want to speak about finance.
I don't want to speak numbers, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
If I kept saying,
It doesn't matter. It's just rude to ask him that. Sorry, it is.
okay, if
I hope Julian's watching this and he agree with me.
look, if he finds me to be rude, I will apologize. But
I think you should apologize either way. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest.
but if he saw it as rude, I will apologize. But
He's not gonna, maybe he's not going to be honest about it.
well, I just honestly, for me, I just asked a question because I mean I am an interviewer. That is my job to
Yeah,
ask
that's
questions.
fair.
But I didn't, and I didn't feel like it was too evasive. I'm sorry, invasive. I didn't.
That was fair. You didn't
I-
push it. You asked it once.
If I
you're
was
good.
begging for an answer, if I was like, no, give me a number, that would be a little rude. That would be disrespectful.
I think you were not saying you were fully begging,
yeah, but
but
I was
you
just,
wanted that.
But I was like, can I get a number? Because he's like, because look, when you say Wall Street, like that implies usually people when they picture Wall Street, they imagine.
Also, I don't know why you
like,
accuse every single guy in Wall Street of being a con man.
that was a joke. Okay.
He got very offended about that.
Did he really?
Yeah,
No, he didn't actually. No, he
tried to
took
make
it
a
as
joke
such a
and
joke.
he said, I want to think about the difference between a con man and Wall Street. Then I realized there are none. And then he's like, whoa, buddy, I was on Wall Street.
No, he made a joke, but that was he
It
took
was
it
not
as
a joke.
Yes,
He was dead serious.
No, he was not that serious.
He was
Yo,
dead
Jamie,
serious.
pull the clip up.
Alessi, actually. Honestly,
Well, eyebrow.
honestly, in my opinion, right? If he didn't have to answer the question, and I didn't force him, and I will apologize if he found it to be rude. He has my contact information. He could say to me, George, I felt that question was a little evasive. I wouldn't suggest you ask it again. And
Yeah, I don't think he's close enough to say that. I think we're just saying.
I will appreciate your suggestion. That's why I'm moving away from brain rot. I respect your opinion, and that's why I will consider. You know, I like, you know, listening to my viewers. You know, and you are my most avid viewer that I'm aware of, right?
But
So what about Jake? Well, I don't know. Dennis actually tells me a lot of suggestions every day. Like,
I will say, me and you, we don't catch up as much as we did last year. But when we catch up,
Yeah.
it's a good catch-up session.
It is a good
Yeah,
catch-up.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Throw a little bit of mustard.
whoa, whoa.
You want to take that side?
Uh,
How much you make? You're a con man.
I will say, I feel like I do. I know sometimes I won't text you when I do. I watch every
Yeah.
podcast. I truly do.
You do?
You know, and sometimes I'm a little late to the party. You know, you text
Yeah.
me the podcast, and you know I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe it take me. You know, I try to watch it as soon as possible. Maybe it takes me a few hours, a few days, right?
Right.
I am a busy guy. But
stuff happens, man. I get it.
those absolutely. And
They're great to listen to in cars.
I mean, same reason you took it took till 12:02 on New Year's for you to text me Happy New Year instead of 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a little delayed on my part.
Which was fine. I get it because I'm pretty sure you were 12:01.
I texted like 30 different people.
And I understand.
It was like family first, and then I was
Obviously,
like,
right?
yeah.
But stuff happens, and overall, we understand that. But the point is this: at the end of the day, we support each other.
Oh no, it was actually exactly at midnight for me. So you were really in the back of the list.
Yeah, I will 12.
I apologize, bro.
Do you consider Dennis family? You didn't say family first.
Dennis?
That's pretty
okay.
early.
Okay. Look, Dennis has done things for me that I will not sit here, but he has proven himself to be a very respectable and trustworthy person.
And not the most respectable man of all time.
And
Dude, I'll take you to dinner too.
Look, no, that's not the point. Like, look, just.
Oh, and terrible outro. Yeah.
Okay, well, we still got the audio.
Yeah,
so
that's all that matters.
But okay,
now it's just gonna be a black screen. Also, my
it's too
car's
high.
to be done charging, so we have to kind of wrap it
It
up.
overheated. Yeah.
But when I say to wrap
But honestly, look, Dennis, you have done things for me, and you've been a good friend, and you always have been, right? And you have done things for me that like nobody else has in some cases, and I really truly do appreciate that.
I think we provide different things for you, and that's okay.
Well, Dennis did something for me that nobody else did, and in a circumstance, which I'm not gonna say, but he pulled through.
It was a circumstance.
It wasn't good.
And listen,
But-
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Right? Not even. I don't care about the views, the money, the clout, whatever. Right?
What matters at the end of the day is that you're a good person. You help other people.
And it's honest to me. It's like a competition for who does more for you.
Yeah,
it's
except I do.
Yeah.
Well, he just look. He's done a lot, and he.
Hey, it's not a competition. Except honestly, I think it is
that
me.
one particular.
And he
thing.
also.
No, but
he
I did
also,
that other
yeah.
thing.
No. His thing is pretty.
You
meaningful.
sure?
No,
I think my thing.
It was.
Mine was
And
a lot bigger. Let's be
It
honest.
was.
My thing is bigger.
So I'm a far better friend. Let's just be honest.
Well, he also offers me rides like every other day.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch.
No, like it's
we won't
everyone's.
need to offer you anymore after you got the big L, bro.
Yeah, now you get the license, man. Now you're balling.
True.
You're balling like a baller.
True. Yeah. All right, I think that's a good place to end off.
Yeah.
All right.
Also,
It was dubs all around. All right.
in the man.
All right. Well done episode.